Well, first of all, happy Thanksgiving. This was the best episode of Sister Wives, I thought, all season. The whole season has been about this one conversation between Kody and Meri, and fortunately or unfortunately, Robyn. So they all sit down to talk about how, since Christine has left, how the land's going to be redivided. And Kody says, it's not. We're going to keep it exactly the same. The only difference is I'm going to take Christine's land. So I'll throw up a graphic here. But what you see is in the back, you've got Robyn, who has 4 acres. And then you have Janelle, who has 4 acres. And then Christine has 2, Meri has 2. And then Kody and the family have 2. And Kody's saying, Christine's land, since she's gone, I'm going to own that land. And Meri's going, wait a second. There's 3 wives left. Janelle's got 4 acres. Robyn's got 4 acres. I have 2 acres. And now there's 2 available. Why would I not get that? And Kody's going, nah, because of the way the family is moving, I'm not giving anybody that land. And he's having a hard time figuring out why Meri or anybody would think that that's unfair, which is shocking. The real shocking part is that Robyn chimes in and goes, now wait a second, what about me? And she's concerned because Meri says, wait a second, Robyn gets 4 acres, Kody, you get 2 acres for you, and now you're taking Janelle or Christine's 2 acres. That's 8 acres between the 2 of you, and I'm stuck on 2. And Robyn's like, now hold on, I don't want my land to be mixed with Kody's. I want my land separate, which is a little bit odd. Like, she's already got 4 acres that's her own, and now we're talking about the additional 4 acres that she's going to be getting with Kody, and Robyn's like, whoa, worry about me. Let's make sure that my land stays separate. Which doesn't make any sense until Robyn makes the best joke ever. She says, what if Kody and I don't stay together? And she's like, what if Kody and I don't stay together? And she's ha 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 ha. And the camera pans over to Kody, and Cody's like, not feeling the joke. Now here's what I think. I think Kody believes that part of the reason why Robyn joined the Brown family is that she liked the status, the money, the position that Kody had in the faith, right? He talked about it on his interview with Mormonism Now, that Robyn had lots of suitors, and she chose the Brown family because of the family that Kody was able to present to her. And I think a part of Kody is worried that Robyn's like, hey, you're no longer, when the cameras turn off, when the money goes away, when Meri's gone, Christine's gone, Janelle's leaving, that when they're living in a monogamous relationship, Robyn's going to look at Kody and be like, I'm stuck with you? And I think that's a real source of anxiety for Kody. Now, Robyn didn't understand why the joke wasn't funny, but she did notice pretty quickly that Kody wasn't reacting to things in a real positive way. And so there's a couple of times in there where Meri is asking Kody questions about the relationship, and Kody is responding in a pretty sharp manner. And then Robyn ends up going to Kody and saying, hey, stop, don't answer that question anymore. I don't want to hear from you anymore. You're not in a good place. And I don't know if it should be interpreted like, oh, look at how in sync they are, or look at how powerful Robyn is. I can just tell you that if my wife, if I was going to say something, if I was upset and I was going to talk and my wife just goes, you're not in the right place, don't talk, I think it would not go over well. And I can promise you if I did the same to her, it'd be a real issue. So there's a unique dynamic going on there. And while we're talking about how wonderful Robyn is, I should say that she turns to in the TLC interview, she says, look, it's really important in the faith that a sister wife advocates for the relationship between the husband and the other sister wives. And Robyn says, I do that all the time. And Kody says, she's the best. She's always advocating for my relationship with the other sister wives. Now, she maybe didn't do a great job of advocating for the other wives when we're talking about Thanksgiving or Christmas, or when she bought a separate ring with Kody, or when they were distributing the properties. But other than those sort of big moments in the spotlight, Robyn's really always advocating for the other wives. Behind closed doors, she's wonderful. Okay, so the conversation then gets serious. And Kody says to Meri, I don't love you, not the way you want. I can't love you that way. What are we going to do? And so they're talking about Meri saying, look, I'm not going to be in a relationship with somebody that I'm forcing to love me. And then Robyn gets up and gets really emotional, like this super dramatic or theatrical effort to get up from the table. She's weeping, and she has to walk, around the pond. And as she's walking around the pond, they've got her mic'd up so you can hear her weeping as she goes off. And it's hard, at least for me, it was hard not to laugh. I understand she's in pain, and I do think she's genuinely saddened by the fact that the family is being destroyed. So I don't want to take that from her. But the amount of energy in this episode, the amount of energy in that conversation that is centered around Robyn, who really it's not about, is shocking. So she walks around the pond weeping, and then she comes back, and they're still back to this like serious conversation. And she gets back in, she goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I was just really emotional, but I want to be respectful." And it's like she has just taken the spotlight and said, "Make sure it stays here." So it's just like stylistically, it's like over the last couple of seasons, I've been trying to figure out like what is Robyn doing that makes me struggle to like her? Why do people not connect to her? And I think that's it. She gets whatever she wants from Kody. I think she mistreats the other wives. I don't think that she's respectful, or I don't think she makes an effort to get Kody to realign with them. And she makes everything about her and is totally unaware of how she's impacting and how Kody's impacting the world around her. So that's why, and that was a great example of that. Eventually she sits back down and Meri says to Kody, "I don't want to be in a relationship where someone's acting like they love me." And Kody interrupts and goes, "Oh, the act is easy. The act is easy. It's a performance." And it's like, what I think what he's trying to say is, it is my job as a husband to take care of my wives or to align with my wives. And so I'm acting or I'm performing in that way as a husband. I can't figure out if it's part of the faith or if it's part of him just being sort of stunted emotionally. But Kody doesn't understand why it's a problem for him to do whatever the hell his heart desires with Robyn and then neglect the other wives. He thinks they should all hang around. Like they should keep elevating him despite the fact that he puts no effort back into those relationships. And he really struggles to I don't think that Kody really gets why the family is breaking apart. So you're really watching him work through it and just not really connect the dots. So they spend a lot of time discussing that. Robyn doesn't really get it. She makes it all about her and she feels like she's being hurt by these other two people. Kody definitely doesn't get what he's done wrong, and he is really worried about people blaming him. And he has maybe my favorite line of all time, which is, "Meri, can we talk less about the things I've said to you about our relationship and just talk more about the moment in time we're in right now?" The way I heard it was, I want to be held less accountable for my behaviors, my actions, especially in the public spotlight. What I would like us to do is just talk about, okay, like how we got, now that we're here, what do we do about it? And it's like, I just love the strategy. Like whenever I have a conflict with my wife, I'd like to say, "Hey, I know you're mad about the thing that I did," but it kind of worked. Like Meri didn't blame Kody. She could not have been more emotionally controlled and kinder to Kody, which was shocking. It makes me think that because of her faith, Meri is invested in the family, but I don't think that she's genuinely emotionally connected to Kody. Which I think is an important thing to remember when you're at least for me watching it, is I keep thinking how emotionally damaging this must be to Meri. And I think it was at one point, but now, like in the last 2 seasons, I don't think it's as trying for Meri because Meri is checked out. I don't think Meri wants to be with Kody. I think Meri wants to go somewhere. She wants a life outside of this, but because of her covenant, she's stuck. So when Cody's being an asshole, I don't think it registers. It's not as painful as it would be if they had a true marriage. Right before it ends, Robyn cannot be consoled. She is just weeping. And then you see, which was interesting, and I didn't catch it the first time until someone said it in the comments, you see Meri reach over and hold Robyn's hand. Meri is comforting Robyn, despite the fact that, again, this moment is about Meri and her relationship with Kody. But again, everything shifts towards Robyn. We were trying to protect Robyn and the loss of her dream of sitting on the porch with other wives. And then Kody hops on his ATV and takes off. And at the very end of the video, Cody's being interviewed by TLC and he says, "Look, I hope Meri finds peace because I sure will." And it's this felt very cold to me, like I am done with her and I am moving on. And again, I don't think either one of them is really emotionally connected to the other. So I thought it was an interesting video. It was the finale we needed, and I'm honestly hoping the show does not continue for another season. To me, it's done. So let me know what you think in the comments below.